Hey everyone, welcome to Mario's Kitchen and happy holidays. With 2020 coming to an end, everybody wants to impress their family with the last final dish. And this is it. Risotto with porcino mushroom, burrata and prawns. Let's get to the kitchen.
So let's get started with the ingredients. First off, you're gonna need 15 to 20 grams of dehydrated porcino mushrooms, 200 grams of rice, onion, celery and carrots, 1 burrata, butter, and around 70 grams of prawns. 1 nice glass of white wine, fruity preferably, it goes well with the prawns. Make sure to taste it for good measure. Some oil. This is oil that my family makes. We have our own trees and it's really good, and I'm gonna use this one. And some Parmesan just for the finishing touches. First things first, we're gonna take our porcino mushroom and we're gonna put it in some hot water, warm water, to rehydrate until it's nice and soaked. For the moment we keep it aside. Then we're gonna start with the odors. We take our onion, we clean it, cut it in half. Half we're gonna chop it in big pieces and the other half we're gonna keep it for later to be chopped. Same thing with the carrot.
Nice.
And we cut it in big pieces and then we keep it aside. All of these odors are going to be used for the bisque later on, which is just like a fish stock, a little denser. And as you might expect, same thing with the celery. Once your odors are done, you can go ahead and start cleaning your prawns. Now here I couldn't find fresh prawns, so I had to rely on frozen ones. If you do find them fresh, I suggest you to take them so because they're much better. And it's also easy to clean, so the only thing you're gonna have to do is score them in the middle, take the carapace out, the black part which is the intestine, and the head off. And that's basically it. You're gonna do that with all of your prawns, and you're not gonna throw away the shells because we're gonna need them for the bisque, as I said. It's a bit of a long process, a little annoying some might say, but it's worth it in the end because it's going to add a lot more flavor to our rice. And once that is done, we can go and put them aside.
So I need to wash my hands.
Now, we can go ahead and take our burrata, which is, long story short, a very soft mozzarella. You're gonna score it in half and you're gonna see that it has some nice soft pulp. You're gonna scrape that out, keep it aside, and cut the skin off, which is the harder part. We're gonna use both of the things, the softer part for the decoration and the harder part for the mixing in between afterwards. And as always, make sure to clean your working place. There you go, burrata. Now remember that half onion we said before? Yeah, time to chop it up. And we're also gonna keep that aside because it's for the rice later on. Thanks for my editor to always taking back the things that I don't need anymore. Shout out to Miki. Once that is done, you can start cutting your prawns. It's gonna be some small bite-sized pieces. They don't have to be too big or too small. It's just something that we're gonna put later on that has to add some chewiness to the rice. Once you have everything ready for the bisque, it's time to make it. Put a tablespoon of oil in a pot and heat up your fire.
So,
Smells
did it.
Tastes good though. You like raspberry?
Not really. Which one did I turn on? I'm an idiot.
You turned on the wrong one. Been running for a good minute or what now? We realized just now. How do you?
Right, so after the oil is out, you can go ahead and add your odors. And you're just gonna let them color, not much. First off, they're gonna have to be shiny, as you can see here. And then you can go ahead and cook them even more until they start getting color. They have to be a little golden, not too much, just so they can start taking some of their juices out. Once the veg starts to get golden, you can go on ahead and add your shells. So for this procedure, you're just gonna have to cook the shells until they reach a rose red color, more or less. That's what happens to shrimp and prawn shells. When they get cooked, they just get color and they become red by themselves. In the meanwhile, make sure to take around a liter of water, a liter and a half, because to make a bisque, you're gonna need cold water because all of the juices have to come out of the shell. If you do it with hot water, you're not gonna get everything out. So make sure to do it with cold water so that everything can release its own juices in time. So once the shell is ready, you can deglaze with some white wine. And once that is done and evaporated, you can go ahead and put your water. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and add some spices. So I just put some salt and some pepper, grains, only to give some more flavor to the bisque. After this, you're just gonna mix it, cover it with a lid, and bring it to a rolling boil. Once your bisque reaches the rolling boil, you're gonna take out the lid, put it on a lower fire, and once that is reducing, you're gonna spend some nice time with your family.
I'm not his family, I'm his friend.
And let's get back to the bisque. So it should have been reduced by now, and as you can see, it did. After this, you're gonna take a blender and blend everything until it's nice and smooth. There has to be as less chunks as possible, so that again, everything is blended and has released its own flavor. Once that is done, you can go ahead and keep it on the fire, so it can reduce it a little more. And afterwards, you're gonna go ahead and strain it. Make sure to press down all of the remains so that the juices can flow down without any problems, and we're gonna have also more for later on for the rice.
The lowest possible heat.
So this is not the right.
Cover it with the appropriate lid this time. After that, we can start with the rice. So first things first, the mushrooms, they should be rehydrated by now. Must have been passed around half an hour. And we're gonna squeeze them and keep the juices. Don't throw them away. They're gonna add a lot more flavor to the rice. So you can open your oil, again another teaspoon, heat it up. And once your oil is done, you can go ahead and add the onion and saute it until it becomes nice and golden. Make a flip with your spoon. And after that point, you can go on ahead and add your mushroom and your rice and toast them all together. You're gonna notice that the rice gets toasted because it becomes translucent. You can go on ahead and take the other remaining half of the glass of wine and deglaze it. In this process, you have to make sure that your pot is really hot so that all of the alcohol can go away and only the flavor of the wine will stay within. Once you've done that, deglazed everything, you're gonna start by adding a little bit of the mushroom juice from before that we didn't throw away, make sure. And then ladling spoon by spoon our bisque that we made before. So the trick to make a nice risotto is to simply not add too much liquid inside of it. So it has to be covering the rice, but not too much that the rice is gonna soak up too much liquid. And be sure to always taste it, you never know how it's gonna turn out. In case, you can always adjust with salt and pepper. As you can see here, I needed some more adjustments and I did. After that, you can go on ahead and finish cooking your rice. As I said, one ladle at a time, not too much liquid, until the rice is nice and cooked evenly. Once you see that the rice starts to get almost cooked completely, you can add your prawns. Some people add it together with the mushroom at the start, some people cook it aside and then add it in. I prefer doing it like this so the prawn doesn't get too dry in the process. So once you notice that your rice is gonna have this consistency, so a little creamy, it means that it's almost cooked. Of course, always taste to be sure about it. And that's it for the rice, so you turn it off the heat and you start stirring it to make it even creamier. You're gonna start adding the butter, the parmesan, and then you're gonna mix everything so you see the consistency. And at last, you're gonna add your skin of the burrata, not the soft part, the outside. Make sure to mix everything nice and well together so you see your consistency becomes creamier and creamier. And in case, you can always add some more butter and parmesan to correct it.
Are you clapping them cheeks? Are you clapping them cheeks?
And you should have this type of rice. Nice and creamy and stretchy cheesy. And you can top it off with 1 canal or more of the burrata center.
That literally just looked like you laid a white turd on top of you.
That was weird. And that's it for the risotto. I guess it turned out pretty good, nice and creamy as expected. The only thing is that The burrata is one of those cheeses that melts really quickly. So once we put it on the plate with the hot rice, etc., it was starting to melt really fast, and we couldn't get a nice clean plate like we wanted to. But that's completely fine. In any case, I hope you'll like the video, and I'll see you next time. Hey everyone, welcome to Mario's Kitchen. With 2020 coming to a close, everyone want to